Hey everyone, since we're all stuck in the house and coronavirus thing, we're distancing ourselves from people, why not do a little tutorial on how to make a day cab Transstar from Diecast Promotions. Excuse me, this is golly, got the burps. This is a project I've wanted to do just to see if I could do it. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. I actually did one with the Kenworth K100, so I did that a long time ago, and now I want to try one with one of these. We have Kyler in the house, and so is Caden. Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. So we're not going to hesitate. We're not going to muck around. We're going to go ahead and get started on this pretty quick tonight, because why not? We're here. If I don't get all your questions, don't worry. I'll take time to go back and get questions later. So if you see somebody asking questions, just say, hey, he'll get back to you. Don't worry. And if you're new here, you don't know what you're doing, this is something I do periodically. This is Rockin' HTV, where I just do tutorials on die-cast trucks most of the time. Sometimes I do some other things. But tonight we're definitely working on this Transstar. So let's get started. Okay, we got to turn the camera way down, and then we're going to flip you around real quick. There we go. So the first thing we want to do with this Transstar is we got to take some parts off. One, we're going to start with the cab. Now inside here, there's just two plastic, there's some die cast here on the frame, and all the internal components are plastic, so you can just kind of twist this off. And if you take off your grill or something, don't worry about that. You can always glue that back on, not a big deal. We're going to set the frame off to the side for now, because we're done with that for the moment. And I'm not certain exactly how much I want to take apart just at the moment, because actually, I haven't ever been into one of these before. This is my first time actually diving into a Transstar like this. I've never, well, let me see, have I repainted one? I don't even know. Anyways, so we're going to start by just taking off these hand grabs and get them off and get them out of here. Kind of being careful. I like to save these. I don't know why, because sometimes you might reuse them, sometimes you won't. And my goal here is, I have a goal in mind with this project. I'm going to try not to ruin the paint. I want to try and do this so I don't have to repaint it. That is kind of a little goal I have in mind with this build. I'd like to avoid repainting the thing. So I've seen some guys, they've made day cabs like this, and they use a jeweler saw or some sort of small saw like this, and they will actually hand cut it and then file gently to even up all their edges and make sure everything's true and square, and then they'll glue it back together, and then they make a day cab without repainting it. Well, that's kind of my goal this evening. I'd like to do that if we could pull that off. So I'm going to be careful. And like I said, I'm going to take a few parts off just because I don't want to break them in the process of working on the thing. And you'll notice I'm just using a curved plier here, and I managed to grab those mirrors off of there without busting those. That was kind of cool, like that. I am kind of concerned about these turn signals here. If I recall, there's no way to take those out from the inside. I think you got to wiggle those off, and I really don't even want to mess with them if I don't have to. So my thought here is, and I'll just tell you what I'm pretty much planning on doing. I'm going to take this off. Breaking stuff. Here, we'll get a sharp tool here, and then we're going to get something soft to work on so we don't scratch any paint. This is an old t-shirt here. So don't forget, you got two air horns, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to try and not put a whole lot of pressure on the top of that cab and bust those. We'll avoid that. But there's some plastic here for the air lines right there. See, there we go. That's off. And another little, this is just an experiment. This is something else I've wanted to try just to see if it could be done. I don't know that it can be done. I want to try, here's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about taking cutting this down without taking the interior out. And that's kind of what I'm daydreaming about here. Okay, so I think I want to pull these air horns off just because I know they can be brittle. And that's not the way to do it. Let's try this. So here I'm just taking a knife in between the air horn and the die cast a little bit, just trying to see I kind of got that pried up. This normally does not work for me well, just FYI. I normally bust my air horns. See, I already get kind of twinky there. Let's see if we can pull that. Come on, let go. Nope, gonna bust that. All right. Well, not a worry. Just kind of hoping that'd come out. Now let's try prying it this way. Nope. Okay, well, we busted that one. No worries. Luckily, I've got other air horns. They're just not this style. They're just a different style. Well, I gotta, okay, well, we gave it the old college try. Should have left them on and risked breaking them, huh? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about here is we're going to take this off too. Kind of getting ahead of myself. There we go. Okay. So I want to make a cut right between the back of the cab and this die cast here. So we're going to cut the back of the cab off and reuse it. And then we're going to make another cut line, maybe right along these holes where the hand grabs, or maybe right behind the holes where the hand grabs went. I've only seen a couple of day cab IHs in real life, and none of them I was close enough to really get any measurements on or really know how big a day cab International Transter is. So I'm just going to guess. So we're just going to guess on this and see how it goes. So my initial thought here is I want to cut behind these hand grabs here so I can reuse those. And then we'll clean this up on a file. So we'll just rub it around on a file. And then we'll take this back of the cab here, move it forward and glue it on and see how that works. So this may very well be a two-part lesson that I finish tomorrow. And since I am social distancing, I will have time to do it. So what we're going to do next is go to the saw. Now, let's keep in mind, and this is something I preach to guys regularly, you do not have to have fancy tools to make awesome models. You can use hand tools. Like I said at the beginning of this show, a number of guys are taking a saw just like this and they're cutting right here. They're cutting right there along the back of that cab, okay? And they're cutting that off with a handsaw. They're making a nice true line, and in some cases, they don't even have to do much in the way of sanding because a saw like this does such a nice job making a clean edge. They can make this cut here, and then make another cut here. Whoops, sorry, I wasn't in the shot. They'll make a cut here and another cut right about here, and then they'll just move it forward, and it's not seamless, of course, you can see it, but I tell you, for the amount of effort they're doing, I would definitely recommend giving that a go, especially if you don't have any power tools. So don't let the lack of tools keep you from making something awesome. All right. So now we're going to go to the saw, and you may not be able to see everything. I apologize in advance. We're going to adjust that down. There, we'll get that done. So, and it doesn't set level because of the cab lights. So I'm going to get a piece of plastic. And see if we can make this work. At least get it a little bit more true. Okay, I'm going to get my safety glasses. I only have two eyes and I want them both. See how we did? That is pretty nice. Whoa, there we go. That's pretty nice. I'm kind of liking that. That's gonna be okay. And the thing about if you use a saw to do this, don't use a Dremel because it's abrasive and creates heat. If you use a Dremel to do this job, you're gonna scorch your paint, which then will require you to repaint the cab. Now, if you don't like the color of the cab, you're gonna repaint it anyway, then use a Dremel, that's fine. Your Dremel will probably not give you as clean and straight a line as using a hand saw. So just FYI on that. Not gonna say it can't be done, but just saying it may create a little more work for you, but don't worry, totally overcomable. Is that even a word? That's not a word. But you can overcome that pretty easy. So this is just a really, that's just dandy right there. I like it. And you'll notice again, so this is experiment 958 in the Rockin' H lab. I just wanted to give this a go because I don't know if it will or won't. So we're trying it. Under normal conditions, I'd probably pull this out, but tonight, nah, not tonight. And I'm also going to change the side of the saw I'm on. Or no, I'm not. That's a dumb idea. No, that'll work. Or will it work? I don't know if that'll work. Let's see. Do I like this? Okay. Okay, now, as always, be exceptionally close. The saw doesn't care if your hand is in the way or not. It will cut it, so do be careful if you choose to use power tools. I think my saw needs some attention. That sounds really awful. Here's our other cut line. Right behind those. Here's our other cut line right behind the hand grabs, the way I wanted to keep them. Oops, looks like I got into those. No worries, that's not a big deal. We can always make new ones. Okay, let's go back over here and see what more we can do. Okay, let me turn you to the workspace here. So here's what we got. This is the die cast we've cut out to make our day cab. Okay, all this is junk, so we can discard this. I'm gonna keep that little step for a moment. I might wanna, what am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna plug the power back in too, so give me just a second. Count to 2, 1, 2, there we go. All right, so this is kind of what we're going for. Dun, 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 dun. So, not a perfect cut by any stretch, but, you know, this isn't awful. This is something we can actually live with. So, this is not too bad. This will work. Okay, again, not a perfect cut. Now, if you were doing this with a handsaw, I imagine you could probably, I'm going to guess that you could cut just straight through the thing from top to bottom, and you could probably make this cut perfect on both sides. Where I was using a power tool and didn't have I had a blind spot, is what it was. I started over here. When I went through the saw, there is this little step right here, or this little piece of plastic here. I was using that on the cut side, where the blade was. I was using that on the blade side, and then as my marker, but then I was kind of blind because of this die cast here. Now, I probably could have made some sort of a straight line or some sort of edge, but just for winging it and just to have total fun with a build, I thought we're just going to go with it and do what we want. Okay, before we get too much farther, we're going to go ahead and take out all this plastic that was from the cutting process. And you can see here, got into my chair a little bit. And that may have been because the plastic inside this cab, I think it walked a little bit or it moved on me while I was cutting it. That's really not too bad just the way it is. I mean, that's really not bad. You know, guy, if you wanted to, you could use that as is. You could dang near use that just that way if you wanted to. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and clean it up just a little bit, you could go. You could do that, but dang, that is just really close. It looks like, no, I'm just going to call that the way that is. All right, yeah, that'll work. On this side here, you could actually, on this side, you could use that, and because you're going to put the hand grabs back in here, that would actually cover up some of your seam a little bit, and the fact these holes are kind of missing a little. You could actually use that just that way. I would bet you. I got money on that. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is I need to file a little bit right here on this edge, because this edge here is a little fatter. It's actually out farther. So this part right here is too thick compared to the back of the cab here. I don't know if you can see that yeah, you can see that here, how the back of the cab here is narrower than this, and well, compared to this body line right here. Okay, see how the body line right there, or the door line, you can see right here that this is thinner than down here. Okay, how do we fix that? Glad you asked. I've always kind of had a thing for these internationals, don't know why, but I think they're kind of cool. Here, we're going to pull this out for this move. Oh, don't do it that way, Eric. That's not going to work. Okay, no worries. More yet. Getting closer. That worked. I'm going to work just a little bit more right here. Well, it's getting better. Taking off a little bit. Not much. Maybe just I don't know. We'll work on this just a little bit longer. Okay, that's better. You can see here, I've gotten just a little closer into these hand grab holes. So we thinned it up a little bit, not a whole lot. Of course, we didn't need to take a whole lot off, so that's all right, right? Okay, I'm just gonna clean up my workspace a little here because that's what I like. Okay. You could probably use a little compressed air in here if you wanted to, or some sort of aerosol compressed, you know, like what you use to clean up a keyboard with on a computer or something. So far, I've done a really good job of not busting out any parts. This one came out of it. One of these came out, but I poked it back in and it seems to be holding. And our roof came out, which is not a big deal. We can glue that back in, no worries. Yeah, we got that. So we will take a spot of glue and put that in. Ooh, I think this is my glue bottle. It's about empty. I have to break out a new one. Yeah. So when you're putting this back together, there's two extruded pieces of plastic right here. Make sure those are facing up, not down, or else you're going to run into all sorts of pieces underneath. So they're hiding some of the pieces underneath. Thank you, engineer, for fixing that, huh? Okay. Looks like I managed to pull the steering column out. So we'll put that back. Oh, I broke that out. All right, no worries. Okay, we got that. And we're going to pull this off, get that out of the road. Nice. And let's get a little bit of a turn so it looks, I guess, decent. There. Who looks inside the cab anyway, right? Okay, that's in. Okay, well that's okay. All right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. Oh, wow, that's a lot of glue. Holy cow. That's a lot of glue. Good grief. Who's gluing? It's die cast, man. We're not putting a space shuttle together. All right. Then I'm going to put a little bit on the back side because I don't want this thing moving once it's in. Okay. Dun 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 dun. And we're just going to let this, we're going to let that sit right there and look pretty. Okay. Next, we're going to dry fit this one more time to take a good look all the way around and see how we like it. See how things are coming together. Because we may have to file on the back of the cab just a little bit to make it fit beautifully. Now, the one thing that you should know if you go ahead and do this project, and I recommend you do, the back of the cab and the lines toward the front of the cab may not match up perfectly, but that's just the price you pay as the back of the cab wasn't meant to be this far forward on this die-cast model. I don't know about you guys. I think I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to roll with it because for experiment 952, I'm just kind of tickled the way this is coming together. Okay, now you don't want to get a whole bunch of glue on the edges of this. I'm just using, let me get my glue, hang on. this is what I'm using. I don't know that this is the best product for this app, but I'm afraid JB Weld would be really sloppy and gooey, and then I'd make a mess. So I don't want to use JB Weld. I don't have any other glue in the house, so I'm using what I have. And this is it. So we're just going to use it. Now, you don't want to use a bunch of it, like that. Because what will happen is, if you get too much of this on there, you're going to goober it out the sides, and then you're going to have glue lines all over the place. I'm using way too much here, just so you know. Part of that is that tip is pretty well wore out, and I've cut it a number of times. So we're going to go ahead and smear this out a little bit and get it away from that edge. There we go. Smear there. Okay. Now, just for, I don't think you could see this, but I'm going to show it to you before we go ahead and put this on. You'll notice the saw got really close here and cut this. There's a little bit of an edge here that does not exist on this side. I'm not too worried about it. As we've already looked, it's not really causing a huge trouble. So I think I'm just going to roll with this and just use it the way it is. You could take and just put this on your file for a little bit, like so. You could file just that little edge there and probably remove a lot of that. But for this project, I'm really not too worried about it. The one thing, if you do choose to file like I was just doing, you want to make sure you use your thumb and push over on, the side that you want to remove die cast, and then stay away. You don't want to bend this, I guess is where I'm going. Don't want to bend that piece right there, because that will ruin your day. Okay, I'm just going to drop that on and try not to get glue on my fingers. And I'm going to use that silver stripe as kind of my guide here to make sure that I'm level and square all the way around. Watch that. Oh, come on now, move for me. Ooh, golly, that stuck really quick, that glue did. Oh, so you can see here. Oh, doggone, there you go. I could probably. Why it just does not want to move. Okay. That dude's on. Okay, so this seam here, you can kind of see a bit of a groove here. You can see the seam is fairly obvious. You can see it here in the orange. Not so much in the black, but you can sure see it in the orange. And you don't see it across the top so much because it's black. And then you see the seam really well here in the orange again. That's not the end of the world. Okay, while we're working, we're not going to stop yet. I'm going to grab my, what is this? I think this is a 3/64 bit that I bought from toolstoday.com. And, oh, nope, I'm not going to use that. And this, I believe, is 1/32 bit. I'm just going to clean out these holes where the hand grabs go. We're not drilling for oil here, guys, so you don't have to go all the way through. You just got to make sure that hole's deep enough to accept your hand grab. Where's that one at? There it is. Okay, happy. Now, just for fun, let's go ahead and see if we can put that on. Now, I'm still holding this fairly tight. I'm putting a lot of pressure here. Well, maybe not a lot of pressure, but I'm holding it with my thumb and my fingers over here in the front because I don't know if this glue is fully cured, and I don't want this back to come out as I'm kind of torquing on this and trying to put this cap back on the mounts. Come on. All right, let's get rid of that out of the way. That's in my way. But I'd kind of like to get this kind of all together before we quit tonight. But as luck would have it, I could use another hand. All right, you come on. There we go. Now, does that go over the engine? Okay, so what's going to happen here is it looks like we have this air tube right here, or whatever this thing is causing our cab not to set level. So we can fix that. We have a couple of choices in that regard. One, since we know this exists now, I knew something was probably going to hit. I wasn't sure what it would be. I should have assumed it was this because it's the tallest. When this is all apart, you could actually drill a hole or take a round file and file a groove in the cab right there where my finger is, and then that would allow that to close. Now you really won't, it doesn't look like it'd take much more than maybe 1/8 of an inch to make that work. So you could do that. That'd be a way to fix this problem. Or you could cheat, just take out the tube. Okay, well, since this is practice and I don't even know if I'll keep it, I haven't decided yet, we're just gonna cut that out. Let's cut that out. So our little Detroit here, yeah, won't have that. And we'll just cut that off. If I were doing this for a client, I would very much go ahead and if this was a client's rig, I would take a file and put a round groove in there, and that would serve purposes because then your engine would be supported by that a little bit, and that would be kind of nice. Oh, we got something else hitting in there. What else we got cooking in there? Oh, right there it is. Okay. Another thing that's causing us trouble here is this little piece right here. So I think when you have the back off, you can knock that off with the Dremel. Okay. Okay, no worries. We got this. Okay. Or cut that off and cut that off, and no one's the wiser, right? Okay, we'll break that. Why not? Okay, so chill out. I'm gonna grab my Dremel real quick. And we'll just knock that off real fast. There we go. We're getting closer. Still not perfectly level, but we're going to take it. It's better. It's better. We're still hitting on some things in there. What do we got there? Okay. So what it looks like I need to do is take more of this off. I thought what I took off would be enough, but it's not. No worries. We are needing at least a 1/16 there, and I think that's what we've got to play with. So we're going to take just a wee bit more off. Okay, now we're happy. I just need to push it down a little bit more. Okay, now we're good. Okay, what do we got cooking here? Okay, that goes back on. That goes, oh, look, we broke them pins. Okay, that's good. Okay, now all we have to do is move exhaust up. Call this thing a bulb. So let's figure out how to do that. Okay, let's see. Exhaust is right there. Let's see if we can. So your exhaust, or this air tube right here, whatever this thing is, that air canister, goes right into the frame right there. I'm going to see if I can twist that out or pry it out. And it's not wanting to do that. Okay, nope. Okay, don't want to come out that way. So let's do it this way. Right. Let's try and come out, you. There it is. Okay, and that air tube is. Oh gosh, where do you put that now? Well, that's actually a piece of rubber tube right there. That's kind of fun. Well, we'll just, we're going to fake that. We're going to say, oh, that tube goes down there in the engine compartment somewhere. I actually don't know how these are in real life. I have no idea. There, see? That's kind of hidden. Looks like it's made to be, right? Okay, I'm going to just do a quick cleanup here, get everything out of the road, move some tools. And then we're going to move this exhaust. Somehow we're going to move the exhaust. Not sure exactly how that's going to work. We're going to find out though. Okay, I want to say that's exhaust is, I don't know if that's pinned in the side or in the top. I guess there's no use worrying about it. Let's just get in here and see what happens. I know on some of these trucks that there's a pin in the side of this little bracket down here. Can you see that? Nope, you can't. There's a little. Sometimes there's a pin over here where it actually pins into the side, so you got to spread this bracket apart before you can get your exhaust off. It'd help if the tanks weren't on, but they are. Boy, I can't see a thing here. Ah, yep, I'm right. Right there it is. I see it. Okay, right here, right down in, maybe you'll see it. It's right here, you can see it on this side better. Right there at the tip of my screwdriver, there is a bracket or a pin holding that on, or holding that in. Let's see if I can move that out. I don't think we need to be too delicate because I don't think we can. I don't know if we can reuse that anyway. Oh, you know what I was looking at? I was looking at the fuel tank pin. Never mind, I was wrong. I'm not real sure how this works. Okay, time to be no more Mr. Nice Guy. Now there's the transmission we're wiggling. Okay, this deck plate's got to come off. This is in the way. Come on off, you. Oh wow, that's really on there. Ruin that. Okay. What I'm thinking I want to do now is just see if we can pry that off this way. Come on, let go. Whew. Wow, doesn't want to give up. Boy, I kind of hate to use that knife too much because you know what'll happen is something will give and then I'll end up with that knife in me. That has happened too many times in this shop. Wow, stubborn little sucker, ain't it? Get off of there, holy cow. Good grief. I did not want to give up. Okay. And I think just because, I'm trying to think, there was one over in a town adjacent to me. It was a day cab. That's the only one I've seen up close. One time I was driving by and I stopped to look at it. And I don't recall if it had the air cleaner on top or if it didn't. But I was kind of thinking it had a straight pipe, which would be kind of cool. Straight pipes are all right. And that would get us out of having to figure out what to do with that air canister thing we took off. Let's make it a straight pipe. Ooh, look at that, there it went. Yeah, that's better. We'll straight pipe that dude. Has a muffler on it, but that's, let's have the exhaust and call it a good day. Yeah, that ought to work. Are we happy with that, people? Sorta, kinda, no? Okay, yep, we can make that work. Okay, we're gonna do that. Actually, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put a little bit of glue here. A little bit of glue there. Try and weasel that in without getting glue all over the place. And boom. There, now it's set. Okay. A little splash of Insta-Set because we like it. There, and it's set. Ta-da! And now look at that, it's even straight, even better. Ta-da! All right. That was fun. Now we got to put this silly hose somewhere. Thought we had a good spot for it, and that didn't work. Now we're just going to bring it over on this side and let it hang out over here. Perfect. Perfect. And looks like we're going to need a place to stand on this thing now since we mucked up our deck plate. We're going to need a new one of those. Let's put some diamond tread on this thing. That looks better anyway. Oh, sure. Look at that. Yeah, diamond plate looks better. This old, whoops, wrong one. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to swap out my glue bottles for that good one. Okay, now we won't fall down when we're back there. And instead of those airlines on the back of the cab, I kept those, but I'm not going to reuse them. I'm going to use some other kind of airline. And I'm just out of my burn pile, and then we'll put that back on. We'll put some hand grabs on and call this close enough for government work. Yeah, definitely going to get a new glue bottle tomorrow. This one's just about had enough. What I normally do with those glue bottles is when I have a new one, I will go ahead and pour whatever contents are in the old one into the new one. And you can also buy replacement tips for these. I never have, but and I should. I don't. But just know that you can buy different ones. You don't have to keep making the orifice bigger and bigger as it clogs up. Now, if you want to save yourself a little bit of headache, go ahead and, something's not right there. Something is not right here. There we go. I just had a bit of plastic in. There's this plastic right there hanging out and not letting that bumper sit flush. That's why you dry fit, fellas. Dry fit, take a look at it, and then glue. That way you can see if everything's working right. Eek. Crap. Okay. Let's kind of chill like that. And taste of to set the holder in place. Okay, good. Then, now that it's being held, I'm going to just take, actually I'm going to do this slightly different. I'm going to put a little glue on my knife so I can expertly place it. Just like so. Okay. Now the only thing we need to do is put our hand grabs in. And if you recall, we kept those in our butter dish. So many of you have butter dishes and different things around your house. I keep a lot of those for parts bins because one, you don't have to pay for them. But two, I really like these lids. I really keep them for the lids because if you've watched my channel at all, I keep these lids to put paint on and JB Weld and different things. And man, they're just really handy to have around. So I keep those lids around for that. And I really actually kind of prefer my parts bins to be kind of the same size because then they just stack easier. So you can buy them or you can use like lunch meat ones that seem to be kind of consistent. I'm not going to lie that I've actually bought specific products just so I could reuse the containers that came in them. It's like, well, we're buying this anyways, might as well buy something I can reuse. Grabs, I said, don't drill for oil. Okay, if you do not like the distance that these are away from the cab, see that's probably what, at least, oh, it's a few millimeters, if not an eighth of an inch of gap between the cab and the die cast. If you don't like the way that looks, you can, of course, go in and change that and make it, you can drill those holes deeper so these set better or set deeper. But if you're looking for something quick and easy, just get them deep enough that you can put it back together. And then you don't have to worry about drilling through anything. Okay, so I've dry fit that once. Where's my knife at? So we're just going to put a little bit of glue right here on the knife. Because I can wipe it off the blade. What I want to do is I'm just going to dip the ends of my hand grab in that glue. And then guess what? We're going to stick it right on the truck. Okay. There's one. Let's grab another one. Come here. Where are you at, dude? Come on. Where did I buy the tweezers? I don't think anyone's asked, but I got these offhand. They were priced pretty economical, so it's like, I'll buy 2 packs. We always have plenty of tweezers. Over the years, I found it's just easier if I keep multiple tools of everything. And that seemed to work well for me. Come on, you. There we go. Rats. So we're just about coming up on an hour, and I will answer questions in just a moment. So if you got questions, oh, don't do that, Eric, yet. We're going to dry fit that, don't we? Got to follow our rules here. Got to dry fit that before we glue it. That way we don't make a mistake. And that's one that's hard to undo. So yeah, I'll be answering questions here in just a few moments. So I'm not going to bother putting the airlines on this because it's just like airlines. Whoop-de-doo. Unless, of course, you want me to put the airlines on it, then leave a comment and I'll look at that. But they're just airlines. I'll just make something up. I've got some spares. Actually, I could reuse those and just put them on a different way. I might do that. Okay, like that. We're going to use that. Oh, you, come on. Whoops. Try again. Oh, I do need to put a couple of air horns on there too, don't I? So I busted the other ones clean off. Okay, notice how those hand grabs kind of hide our seam a little bit. Not well, but it's a little harder to see that seam right there. That's kind of cool. That's what's good about keeping them holes, if you can do that, because then, like I said, your hand grabs kind of hide your seam a little, and that's kind of fun. That's cool. And I'm not going to jack around tilting the hood forward a lot because I just don't want to screw anything up. Look at that. We did that in an hour, guys. There you go. 1 hour. Whew. So how would I put these silly airlines on? I would probably just kind of mount this kind of up here and then just let these kind of loose back here. That would be the absolute easiest way to do this, is just to kind of glue this down here and then cut this off and cut them a little bit shorter, and then it looks like you got some airlines and they're just hanging out. So that's okay. Well, we've come this far, right? I said I wanted to do it, but yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. There. And what else oh, I need to go. Okay, while my glue is making its way to the top of the bottle, I'm going to grab my air horns. Years, that's all right. Oh, my air horns, where did you go? Here they are. Okay, so I have some aftermarket air horns here. These I bought from Truckin' Little, and these are just probably even more period correct air horns, to be honest with you. These are, I mean, there's really no good source of air horns. These are about the only aftermarket air horns I'm aware of that already come chromed. I think there's a few guys that sell air horns in a builder pack or something at shapeways.com. I've never used them, so I can't speak to them. But these I know work, and I've bought a bunch of them. Just it's like, oh crap, I don't have any air horns. Well, let's use these. Just works super well. So I definitely recommend those. And again, that was Truck and Little is where those came from. Okay, I didn't use just a whole lot of glue there, so I'm going to let that chill. And we're going to do this. Ensure that it doesn't move. And we're done with that. Next. Okay, we got our knife with glue still. We're going to let that. So these actually come with little pins on them. See, 1, 2 there. So you can actually stand these up on your cab if you want to give that a go. So I'll just, whoops, grab it in the middle. And then put a little bit of glue on that pin. And some glue on that one. And they do not match up with the holes on the top of the cab, just so you know. Oh, rats. My tweezers have glue in the teeth, so they're not really holding things the way I want them held. Let's grab these. These will work better. Try again with the glue. Again, I use a syringe I bought at the farm store for my Instaset because, as you've noticed, I just put a drop of it here and a drop of it there, here a drop, there a drop, everywhere a drop, and it doesn't get all over the place or make a mess. And there's other things, but I'm kind of a creature, I hate that. Sometimes I'm a creature of habit. I find something, it works, and I don't change. When there could very well be better things around. So I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but this is the way I've been doing it, and I love it. Okay, so I just put a teeny drop of that Instaset on both air horns, on the pins, and then it does cure your glue instantly, but you'll notice that I'm still able to work with it just a tiny bit here. I'm not getting crazy, but I do want to straighten that up just a hair. And that's, wow, something's weird there. Okay, clean up my knife. And let's take it for a test drive. Who's making noises? Okay, it's got a Detroit in it, so you got to make the Detroit noises as I push it back and forth. Ta-da! There we go, guys. Day cab Kenworth, or International Transter. And we didn't even break that many parts. Isn't that great? Here's our leftovers. There we go. And it only took an hour. It didn't even take an hour. It's only 59 minutes and change. Okay. All right, let's get you guys some questions answered because I know there's been some stuff and I've ignored all my questions this far. Let's take a look. All right, Kyler says, hey. Hi, Caden. Hello, hello. Cowboy Kez, evening to you. Kyler's day cab grain truck would be cool. Still do it. We got a lot of frame right here we could stretch. We could make this a day cab easy. Oh, shoot. Check this. Ha! It's been... Why did I paint this black? I don't even know. But I painted this black for some silly reason. There you go. There's your day cab grain truck on Dayton's. That's cool. Okay. Nathaniel says, what is the truck you're working on? Well, it's an International Transter 2. Alan says, how are we doing with this crap? Well, Alan, I know Alan. Alan, we're doing great, as you well know. Thomas Colbert says hello, and Kyler's, are you going to do a video on the Kenworths? Oh, on these back here, is that the ones you're asking about? Let's take a walk. On these Kenworths back here, I have got some film of the disassembly process, but that's all I've got. Earlier tonight, I went ahead and, whoops, let me take you there. I shot the second coat of clear on these. These are beginning to pop. It didn't really pop and sparkle like I wanted when I just had one coat of clear, but the second coat has made a huge difference. That These are going to be pretty, fellas. That's all I'm going to say. These, I kind of hope the shade of red would be brighter than this, because honestly, that shade over there on these other trucks I've got here, I think is just a wee bit brighter. So this is just a color I bought at, and this is a DuPont color of some sort. Wow, here, let me get this around here. Holy cow. This is actually dry. I could probably touch them, but I'm not going to do that yet. So I think my Kenworth cabs are a little darker. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is just a little lighter. I kind of wanted it slightly more red. I think there's a little more black paint in there or something than what I was looking for. But that's okay. You know, live and learn. What are you going to do? So let me get you, there we go. That's all I got for you tonight, guys. Tomorrow night, if you want to hang out with me in the evening, we're going to take this and make it a day cab. This is a Peterbilt. I've never messed with a well, wait, I take that back. I got one back there. Yeah, I've messed with one Peterbilt. But we're going to mess with this Peterbilt and make it a day cab for fun. Why? Why not? It's here and we can. So let's do it. So we're going to day cab this Pete and call that fun. So if you want to show back up about the same time tomorrow night, we'll make another day cab. So it is 9:36, and I suppose that's good enough. So happy quarantine, people. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Now you have a full lesson on how to make your own day cab Transter cab over, or day cab over. So there's really no excuses not to make one. And I've given you all the tools and the tips you need to make it. So don't forget, you do not have to do not have to have a power tool. Buy one of these, get something small, and you should be good to go. So this is all you're how to do it with the bandsaw like I have. So either way, you're going to make it, and it's going to be awesome. So make sure you send me photos or post them here on YouTube of your work, because I want to see it. And yeah, go make something awesome. You got the time since you're all quarantined.